So let's start with the project and consortium overview.
Hi. I'm Nancy Alfish. I'm actually the coordinator of the project. I will give you just a couple of details about the project and then what we are aiming to. I'm very lucky actually that we are now here, and you should probably also be lucky that you are also here, since this is the very first presentation of this absolutely new technology, which will be the future of not only how we are experiencing museums, but also how we are experiencing the world around us, since we are facing nowadays this immersion between what we are feeling and what is outside us, and connection between the things, and connection between the internet and the people. And this project is actually making foundation for building new systems for expressing, or detecting and expressing the experience of the people regarding some real world objects. And we are focusing here in the project about on the cultural heritage, but actually the technology is absolutely general purpose. Obviously we are fine-tuning the technology for the cultural heritage, and this is why we are today here. But as you can see, we are challenging. Okay, first of all about the project. It's a 2-year project. We are now at the end of the first year, so we have more than 2 years to go. We have 10 partners, 6 countries, 3. Slow. Thanks. Slow. This is our project. As you can see, 10 partners, 6 countries. It's a European project. It's a collaborative project. And this is actually why we are excellent, because there is no one institute which can do this on its own. Okay, probably there are some kind of fundings, but in a usual situation, you need this synergy of different ideas and different efforts in order to do this. And this is why I'm really lucky that I'm actually coordinating and that we have such a team. I would like to explain you what is actually the nutshell of the ARtSENSE by giving this example. You can very easily abstract from this, which is actually dedicated to cultural heritage, to other real-world situations. We have a problem that there is a gap, usually there is a gap between the people and that what they are consuming, whatever it is. In this case, we have artworks. Because the human would like to, obviously, if they are going to the museum, they would like to use their time very efficiently, so to get as much as possible based on their interest. On the other side, museums, or whatever is related to the real world, has a lot of information about itself. It would like also to present a lot about itself. But there is always the problem how to structure this information to those who are wanting to consume this information. So we have a gap between that I'm going to the museum and I want stories which are tailored to my interests. So not only what is relevant, but also where am I, what is relevant for me, what is of my interest. And the second point is, the second part of this is, as I said, the museum or whatever. I can tell so many stories. Which are the best one for this visitor, for this particular visitor. So we have the gap between that we can provide a lot of information, and we have ones who would like to get his personal information. And this is where the technology is like this, because this personality is the key issue here. Personality means that we have to go into the visitor, into her senses. And this is what this technology is actually doing. What we are doing is we are using, or we are, let's say in a positive sense, manipulating, it's called augmenting, these natural senses. Audio, visual, and bio is something which is not a sense, but which can be also let's say, managed. And this is where actually we are going beyond the current technologies, since we are not using only this traditional sense, like audio and visual, but we are also going into the people by having this biofeedback. We have seen in the agenda, we have a separate slot about introducing these biosignals. So what we have on the other side is we are augmenting the people by manipulating in a positive sense these senses. And on the other side, you see that we are also doing something with the art forms, that we are also trying to get something out of these art forms, to prepare these art forms to be consumed in that way. And what is very interesting is, this very last slide here, my part, is that this is an easy technology, easy to be used technology. It's very important, it's non-intrusive. You will see that we are not wearing any kind of science fiction equipment. It is easy to use technology, but it's very powerful because it's everything with what is complicated is hidden in this great work we are doing, hidden there in these computers. And you have to count on this, that this technology will be ever smaller. So that what we are presenting now is the bottom line. In a year from now, I'm absolutely sure the technology will be even smaller. So I hope that now we will switch to our invited speaker, and while he will be preparing his, I would like to ask you, I would like just to give you a little overview of that what we are actually presenting today. This is that what we are aiming to. Please, if you can come here. I'm just trying to brief this. So what we are presenting are actually results of the first year of the projects. You can see that we have done a lot about asking our museums who are end users what they want, what they need. On the other side, we have done a lot from the technological point of view. I think you have to use this one. From the technological point of view, we have done a lot of work in making all these technologies, because we are combining technologies from 4 excellent research institutes. In combining them, and you will see this demonstration. It is the very first demonstration, so please excuse if there will be a problem, but we have really done our best to do this presentation in an excellent way. But just consider this as a starting point, as a departure for something which will be the future. Now I would like to introduce actually, if you can introduce yourself.
Yes, of course. So we are also very pleased to welcome our invited speaker, from Lisbon Unit, who is an artist, researcher, and teacher, as well as the director of the ASH Laboratory. So I have tell us more about his presentation, but it's all about revealing the virtual and mixed and his experiences. Boris?
Thank you. So I will talk about some samples of my experience in order to explain my view and my conception of augmented reality and augmented adaptive reality. First I had to augment my seat because it was very low, and so I couldn't see you through the screen. This is reality. So we are talking about augmented, extended and augmented world. What does it mean? That means that something is added that is sharing the same space. I mean, the physical space can be augmented with informational data, with images, sounds, and text that are supposed to bring more than the real physical contact, the mere contact with reality. So that's a very old project for the Tunnel under the Atlantic. It was in '95 between the Pompidou Center in Paris and the Museum of Contemporary Art in Montreal. Why I show you this thing? I don't show you video, I don't have time. It's because people had to dig inside a big database of pictures from the common past of both countries. The interest they showed, and that's shown for what they met, the pictures they saw, was actually recorded in a way to create a dynamic profile in order to decide what will be the next pictures. That was called the Garde Vue, and after it became something called the Zeta Profiler. And this is a way to organize a database that allows you to get exactly what you're expecting without asking for. WorldSkin is another kind of augmented reality. You have a real photo camera in your hand, you are inside a virtual world, and you are exploring a world made of pictures of the Second World War and the Bosnia War. And every time you take a picture, you affect the virtual world, and what you have taken is removed and is printed out. So, going from the real to the virtual, coming back to the real, we are really in something that has been considered as another kind of augmented reality. In '97, I conceived the navigation room in, let me come back, the navigation room in the exhibition New Image, New Networks at the Cité des Sciences de la Villette. And that was, I guess, probably the first big network exhibition where all the content was accessible, whatever their origin, through big screens like that, and with really very highly personalized content that came from the fact that people use a ticket to identify themselves without giving any name or any ID, and got the content according to their experience of watching. And so that was a kind of magic room where they could explore all this content. And then when they were leaving the room, a page was automatically created for them on the web they could access to. And that I know that was the origin of our Visit Plus program of the Cité des Sciences de la Villette. And the interface was also created in a way that the dynamic exploration of the content allows the system to provide new organized content according to your interests. So that is very highly personalized. And that was called Hypercube interface. I cannot give you details. Okay, that was in the Expo 2000 augmented reality system to watch a big panorama where nothing was written, so everything was coming from the so-called panoramic table. The Man Transform was conception of it was another big exhibition in the Cité des Sciences in the year 2000 or 2001. And when you come close to the membrane, that was a kind of screen where things seem to evolve in a very organic way. Things come to you and organize themselves according to the interests you express, and also according to the time information should live before vanishing. Okay, the Blue Station was a project which unveiled for the metro station, but it was not done. We won the competition, but it was not done. But let's forget it. Cosmopolis is another mix. It was in 2005, and we use this kind of telescopes to explore 12 cities around the world. Yes, okay, I make it short. So that was the installation system with 12 screens creating a big panorama and 12 telescopes to explore 12 different cities. And this exhibition turned around China. That was a kind of panorama people were watching. And the idea is that people, the way they look at things, at the cities, created actually a new city by mixing 12 cities. That was a cosmopolis, and this is what we call it eye painting, but it's called I don't remember. I've been explaining that so many times. Collective retinal memory, actually. So that was some pictures of the real thing. And I do it that way, otherwise we won't have time to speak about different visions of augmented reality. So that's the result. We have no time for this one. So let's have the video. It's the Arc de Triomphe of Paris. With Christophe Giraud, we created a permanent exhibition inside that introduced some kind of augmented reality things, very simple things like putting a camera here in the hole for the flag. We put a camera and we have the only vertical vision of the Arc de Triomphe. That looks not very augmented, but we have something different, you know. The Arc de Triomphe is very monumental. So I decided to put it in the hand of the people, change the scale, give the possibility of touch the thing, and then when you turn this small Arc de Triomphe made of brass, the other one, the white one, is turning as well. It's made of corian, and on the surface is projected where is located the image as a scale 1:1 on the background. So it's a way to explore content. And this is augmented reality telescopes we experimented 2 years ago, and to have any additional data on the city, but also to invite artists to create specific content. But now I have to tell you that the director of the Centre des Monuments Nationaux, Madame Lemel, decided to destroy half of the exhibition in order to create a shop to sell postcards. Probably to bring content is not interesting when it's possible to get more money. Okay, I show you just a piece of video and then I will stop. Because this is about an augmented reality sculpture that was installed at the entrance of, let me see, at the entrance of the Grand Palais close to 4 years ago. And it's about mechanics of emotions, a series of words where the emotions of the world are mapped and become a sculpture. And then when you touch the sculpture, you get the additional information that is projected from the top. And the sound is produced as well, related to what part you're touching. And this sound is made of infrasound. So that means you cannot hear it, you feel it. So there's different levels of, I could show you this very successful. And then the last thing is emotion forecast. Because to augment reality is also to analyze, for example, what people feel, something completely immaterial, and to show it in a physical world, create paths and bridging the real world with fiction. And so that was projected during the FIAC in Paris, and you see the maps of the emotions of the world. But also, emotion forecast is like météo des émotions. That means you can see what will be the emotional state of the world during the next 2 days. And this will be shown in New York by the end of the month. On the walls, like occupied wall screens, that was a word. That will be displayed in the screen. When I showed that about augmented reality, it's not only inside museums. It's just to put hints in the physical world in order to make it understandable. That was what I wanted to say. Thank you.
So I wanted to thank Maurice once again for this presentation, which also assisted us in having a historical also overview and approach on augmented and mixed realities and environments. Thanks a lot for this. Now we'll try to couple this with a very short introduction of augmented reality and its use for cultural heritage. So I think we all know and we will see it's also one of the main aspects of the SIMESITEM salon that we have mobile technologies that are spreading with a pace we have never seen before. Within the museum environment, we also witnessed a boom in mobile multimedia museum guidance systems. And then later on, from 2008 and 2009, with smartphones, Androids and iPhones, we also have to start even more applications in mobile and lightweight augmented reality. Now, what I want to show you here is the first augmented reality display ever, which dates back to 1968, Tuchel, that's what it was called, as well as World of Damocles. But we would have to wait, at least for cultural heritage and archaeological sites, until 2001 and the ArchaeoGuide project to have the first augmented reality application. Now, let's try to give a short definition for augmented reality. I find that this continuum proposed in 1994 is a really interesting one, because if the real environment is at the left part of the continuum and the virtual world in which we are totally immersed, totally computer generated at the right part of this continuum, then augmented reality is actually using our real environment as a canvas for augmenting our perception, which can be visual. It can also be other things we will see further on. Now, this is another example of a late mobile augmented reality guide that was created for the Museum of Fine Arts in Rennes in 2007. Now, there are certain problems when we work with emerging technologies, including augmented reality and cultural heritage. That means that when we have emerging technologies, we usually have no established design guidelines. It's quite difficult sometimes for cultural heritage professionals to express their needs because technology and innovation is upcoming, so we don't really know always what to expect. And especially with regards to augmented reality, it seems that users are implicated at late stages, okay, if at all. Until recently, there was also a huge lack in authoring tools regarding augmented reality. Now, our approach in the ARtSENSE consortium is a multi-layer participatory design approach. And I will come to another slide of the consortium just to show you that it is actually composed, as you see, from technical partners. Then we also have what we call our end users, which are museum and cultural heritage professionals. But what is very important to understand is that end users are free participating cultural heritage institutions. They also implicate, from their point of view, other people in this process. Now, as you will see later on, in the case of the Musée des Arts et Métiers, we have museum professionals of all stations that are participating at the system requirements actually analysis. In NAT, we had from very early stages museum visitors that participated in defining interest points that you will see further on. And in fact, we'll be implicating Manifest AR, which is an international artists collective. We will hear them later on. So it's just to show you that it's a huge, actually, laboratory with many things going on. Now, I would like us to have, first of all, our cultural heritage professionals' point of view and opinions with regards to the projects, and we will start with the Museo Nacional de Artes Decorativas, the Artes Decorativas in Madrid, Spain. So,
hello, good morning. I'm Ana Cabrera, I'm museum curator, and also actually I'm the collection manager of the National Museum of Decorative Arts in Madrid. Well, as you see, the museum is one of the most important museums in decorative arts in Spain. It was founded as National Museum of Industrial Art in 1912, so we are celebrating our first 100 years, and we are very happy with that. As you can imagine, the museum has around 70,000 pieces, and from many different materials. As you know, the decorative arts collection are very wide in materials, also in chronology and provenances that we have from European, Spanish, but also we have some Far East pieces, but also we have design collections. So our chronology go from, for example, late Middle Ages till 21st century AD. Also we have a very, very important task, that is the temporary exhibition. And all these temporary exhibition and most of our activities are related with public studies. So we try to know if the visitor is interested and why and what is interested more, etc., etc. So why we are interested in the ARtSENSE project? As you know, the decorative art pieces are have many different stories to tell, and also have many different level of interest for the visitors. So we can speak about way of production, material, etc. Or interrelated pieces of the collection. For example, for conservation, conservation cannot be on display all the time. And here you have an example of this Japanese print from Hokusai that cannot be on display in relation with this avant-garde vase of 1905. Also, we can show many different aspects of, for example, furniture. You know that furniture can be open, can have hidden drawers. All these things cannot be explained all the time, the furniture cannot be open all the time. So all these things can be explained thanks to the augmented reality. But also we can relate, we can explain the allegorical figures, we can explain if there is very similar pieces in other collections. We can interrelate different museums in different places. And the piece that is going to be where the augmented reality device will be tested is this wonderful late 18th century tile room that we call the Valencian kitchen, that you have here some detail in full size. It's a room of 5 meters with 7 meters and 7 meters of height. So you can imagine the full size of this kitchen. And as you can see, there is a lot of depicted figures, character, pieces, etc. that cannot be explained in one level or one panel. You need to add a lot of information, and this is one of the things that the project can help us to explain to our public everything, even relate pieces that are depicted on the walls with the real pieces that we have in the collection, for example, our music, recipes, etc. So, trying to summarize why we are very interested and we are very keen to be in the ARtSENSE project, you have here very few hints of why we are very interested. As you see, the application of new technology, the museum is the first time that have the application of new technology to the museum galleries, but also the possibility to link and contextualize with other objects of the collection and facilitate the comparison with other objects. And also, we cannot forget that there is going to be audio, and we can have the audio in different languages. This is another point. Thank you so much.
Thank you.